Daredevil is born again, and we have some thoughts on that show. Does it stumble back, or is it back in full force? We'll figure that out. We're back on Daredevil. Season 2 of Born Again just came out last night. Dropped only a single episode, but next week is a double. For some reason, episodes 2 and 3 are coming out.
Yeah, I could understand why they did that, because they're trying to get that that Daredevil or the Punisher.
Oh yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah,
the double D's.
The black outfit right from Rip was a nice little creative choice. I think I like that.
They did not wait to display the black suit with the double D's on there.
Yeah, no, he didn't come in like the work boots and the jeans and like the flannel shirt for 6 episodes, and then
the scarf put it over his eyes.
The scarf first, and then he only had the tactical pants, and then he wore the off-color helmet once. No. They hit you with both barrels to the chest quick and fast in the opening of the episode. And I thought that was good because we got some Netflix level violence in that first confrontation. That arm break was savage. It was pretty good.
Yeah. The opening fight scene was pretty great.
Always is. Always is with the show.
And you kind of have to, like, now. Like, it's kind of set for the series. Is like that's what you got to do. You pull them in, and then you start telling your story.
You got to set the tone. Daredevil's all about setting that tone. Like, I think opening with like one of the vigilante trials in progress would have been kind of lame. Like, honestly, like this is like snooze check. Like, no, Daredevil's got to show up and rough some dudes. So it got off to a bit of a bang start there. Runtime was like just under an hour. So it was a nice little episode of TV. But I did actually do the phone time check a couple of times though, and that doesn't bode well for me. I don't know. How did you think it flowed? I don't even want to talk about the episode specific yet. How did you think it flowed?
I think the episode went pretty well with Matt and Karen being back together as a couple. Their chemistry is great. I liked throwing the Frank in there and making it a triangle, but that's a Disney trope on a lot of stuff. But Matt and Karen together kind of fits.
Dude, I'm glad that Ivan. What's up, Ivan? By the way, I'm glad Ivan brought that up early because I don't do the rewatches of these shows. Like, once is enough for me. I watch the recap at the beginning of the episode because I need blanks filled in because it's been a year since we've seen this. Plus, how long after season 1 is this supposed to have taken place? Like, isn't this like immediately thereafter, or like
like
weeks?
Weeks, maybe a few months
tops, right? Not like 2 years, 3 years, 5, no, nothing like that, right? So when we left season 1, was he already back with Karen?
Yes.
Okay, so that was a thing. Okay, never mind. Because that was glaringly odd to me, and cool. I just didn't remember that was a thing. So if they're back together as a couple, fine. It doesn't do anything for me. I really didn't like the psychiatrist girlfriend that he picked up down the stretch. I have a couple of thoughts on that character later when we talk about other stuff in the episode there. I agree your chemistry with Frank is way better. We'll sprinkle that in because my other reminder question that I need from you guys, and Ivan probably got photographic recall for this show. Pape probably does too if he watched. I don't remember if Pape watched season 1. He'd have to remind us in the chat. At the end of season 1, was Punisher still locked up? Did not the Kingpin still have him tied to a chair?
So the bone, it was in the cage, and they dropped something, and he broke his thumbs.
Oh, right. So he could be out.
Yeah,
we might get an episode. It's a flashback about him being out. That's right. I do remember that a little bit.
Yep.
So we'll see where that takes us.
Yeah, that was the post-credit scene.
I remember because I remember having to go back to watch that. Now that you said that. Ivan asked, why couldn't Daredevil take a break from Kingpin? I'm not saying forever, but he's literally been the big bad. He is a big bag too. In both iterations of the show, does he have any other villains? Dude, totally has a rogue gallery. I think they're just trying to tell the Mayor Kingpin story and just get it done.
And they wanted this was supposed to be a 18 episode, one season thing. Then they watched what they had, fired the director, and they're like, this is all garbage. Let me and Charlie take over this show, which they did. And then we got the 8 episodes with the footage, some of the footage that they saved and some reshoots.
And it wasn't much. It was not much.
Yeah. And then they're doing this one to wrap up this story. Now, season 3 started filming, I believe, last week.
Yep.
So season 3 is in production right now, which I think is great. They did the same thing with season 2. They started season 2's production right when they dropped season 1. So that way you don't have that much, no downtime. Leeway, yeah. And they can be every March you get a new season of Daredevil, which I'm down for. But they did say that this season will be the end of the Kingpin Mayor of New York storyline.
Okay. I agree with that, and I think he should go away for a while so they can. He just mentioned Bullseye. I was literally just going to say that. Bullseye could completely lead a season as a big bad, for example. I mean, didn't they have him do that in one of the Netflix series? Wasn't
that was Bullseye season 3 of Netflix?
Yeah. Yes, I mean 100%. They absolutely he has a whole rogues gallery like all the other A-listers. They could absolutely pull some people. But King, you got to tell me more about what you thought of this flow for the episode, because it did run long, which I typically prefer, but I felt not checked out, but I was bored at a couple of points in the middle. What's your take on that?
Well, you had to check in where everyone is. It's episode 1 of a new season. Where's everybody at the start of this season? And that's what we had to get through on this one. Now we see Daredevil, and he started the catalyst for the season, was the very beginning. Yep. And then we had to check in. Where's the mayor on this? Who's his cronies now? And then we had an introduction of a brand new character sitting in DC. Then you had to check in with the therapist and one of the vigilantes. Then you had to check in with the task force, and then Bebe, and you just had to check in with everybody. Yeah. Cherry, his law partner.
His law partner.
Yeah, you have to see where everybody's at and how they're adapting to this new norm that is now New York City under Mayor Fisk.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff we can pick apart there for sure. Or not even pick apart, but just talk about over the course of the season. The obvious themes that are going to be on display for this are going to be how closely does this show's story really want to lift from current headlines, about ICE raids and people being detained without trials, things like that. We've already seen a couple of small folks on social media that are involved with the show say this is obviously about that kind of stuff. But the party line from the MCU for a change seems to have told its majors not to make that equation. Like, you can infer that, but do not state that directly, which I think is a smart move.
Yeah, they did say that they took some of what was going on and people's reaction to it to make it more real, but it wasn't their intent to make a political statement with the season.
Right, which I think is wise, because they can make the subtle, nuanced, subtextual references to things, and that's fine. You can obviously do that. Like when the bar owner called the AVTF fascist in Greek, I'm like, okay, I mean, but that's her perception. She can do that. I wasn't obviously front burner thinking like ICE raid, because it's not the same thing. Like taking vigilantes off the street is not the same thing as doing anything like current day, like ICE raid kind of shit. It doesn't strike me as the same. And those guys are all vicious dick bags, by the way. I love to loathe the AVTF on this show. This show has some sleazy bad guys all around, like the mayor's first, not Buck, the other guy, like the deputy mayor. That dude's sleaze, and I haven't liked him for like 2 years.
Yeah, he's that frat bro that you just.
He's a scumbag. I hope he throws him out the window.
He is a walking Me Too later.
Yeah, 100% waiting to happen. He's gonna try to lay some moves on Bebe, and Matt's gonna have to rough him up. 100%. Lauren, hey, what's up? Lauren says Junior Mayor's already annoying, and I want to see Fisk turn on him. I think Bebe gonna throw him off a balcony. I don't think Fisk is gonna get him. I mean, it'll be cool either way to watch him get the melon treatment, but I don't think that's gonna happen. But we'll see how that goes down. Yeah. So pacing issues aside, dude, I gotta remember that this is a Daredevil show. It's not nonstop Daredevil fights. It never has been. I always want more. I wanted more last season, but I feel like this episode we had 2 good brawls to start and to end. You know what I mean? They were like bookend fight scenes, and both of them were good. Dude, the Daredevil fight choreography is always top shelf on this show. Always.
Yeah, it has been since Netflix. I think they brought the same guy back. So
100%. Really we talked about that last year. Mm-hmm.
Now,
dude, that first scene was great. The second scene at the ending in the apartment, also a solid little bit of like multiple combatants on one that avoids that trope to a large degree of why everybody waits to take a turn to take a swing at him. Like he's literally wading through 5-6 guys at once, reacting to shit coming in all the ways, including a bullet from behind him.
Yeah, he's not giving them the opportunity to gang up on them. He's taking one out at a time. He's on the offensive while he puts them on the defensive instead of the other way around. Like when we see so many where it's like everybody comes at you one by one, especially in the wrestling world. Like they're both on the offensive set, but they come at you one at a time.
It's like the Last Jedi throne room battle all over again. Like I'm waiting to hit Kingsley. I'm waiting. Nope, not yet. Got him. Like no. Ivan says, not to mention they're starting to be way too close to our world superhero show supposed to be escape. That's been a complaint forever.
But now they started this beforehand, before everything in the real world started. Like they started the Anti-vigilante task force beforehand, and you already saw some of what they were doing and taking people without warrants, no body cams, no warrants. They already told you all about that.
You know what? A little interesting bit of the whole AVTF angle is there, and maybe this was like a fake news thing that Fisk was running. I don't remember. Maybe I didn't pick up on it, but they interview people on the street that all seem to have a positive response to it. Like, oh, it's good they're taking these animals off the street. I'm like, well, are they really doing the anti-fascist ICE immigration story if the people around you are happy that they're taken off the street, or is it's not a direct comparison because it can't be?
Well, that direct comparison, if you had to make it to real world, it'd be more like when they interviewed the people in Washington, D.C. when he brought in the National Guard to bring down the crime rate. Yeah. They were all saying, no, I'm happy I could walk the streets again. I know my son's coming home tonight.
Yeah, true. But I agree with that. I think that if you can be inspired by real world events, most good fiction has been historically that's a thing. It's not like Star Wars wasn't, inspired by Vietnam, or Lucas wasn't inspired by Vietnam and stuff like that. You just can't be on the nose and you can't lecture. You avoid that stuff. I don't care if you lean left. It doesn't matter. Yeah. It's like Trek leans left all the time, but good stories are good stories. So I don't care.
I mean, if you look at Professor X and Magneto, you got Martin Luther King movement, and then you got Malcolm X.
And even if that's, but again, it's not so on the nose as like they hang like a light on it that says I like. There's not like a name tag that says this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I'm good with that not being how that goes. I wanted them to punch a little harder in this show. With the ending, I don't want to spoil it for anyone. There was a character that looked like he was going to die at the end, and I thought it would have been really solid to definitively have him die at the end. And I don't want, I think they're going to pick up on episode 2, and maybe he is. You know who I'm talking about. There was a certain situation. I don't want to say any more than that.
Yeah, I mean, I just got done watching it before we went live, so
cool.
I think they didn't do that because that would have been back-to-back seasons where he loses someone real close to him. Like Froggy was season 1, and now this person. That would just been too much. I think it was a great way to introduce what they introduced in that scene at the end.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Hey, it's okay. You're welcome.
You're welcome. This one's on me. Whatever the thing said. Yeah, true. True. Not a bad little reinsertion point for the Man Without Fear. I said I'm always down to see Charlie Cox play this role. I think he does a great split role. It is getting a little, I don't know, it's not obnoxious, but it's weird, and I get it. It's comic appropriate. Where like in the middle of his fights, he does the grizzly bear roar, like after he throws a stomp down, like dude's always yelling in his fights. Like I get that, but like it looks a little dopey sometimes.
Yeah, well, I mean, even in the gym, you do that. It actually helps. It gives you that little more oomph behind it. It's been proven to actually help.
I know. That's the key. I get that. I'm talking about like where in that last fight he stomped on that dude's hand, and then 3 seconds later, like bellowed up at the ceiling. It was a bit delayed. Like he's just big mad. He wasn't trying to summon power at that point. The power had already been expended. It just looked a little weird, but that's like a thing. What do you think of your buddy Matt Lillard in this show? That's an interesting little.
Yeah.
Kingpin's wrapped up in the CIA. That's the big. We talk about the plot. The plot is Daredevil sinks one of the Kingpin's boats coming in through his Freeport. Free from government inspection, apparently, or whatever they set up.
Government inspection is free from tariffs. It's free from everything. It's one of those special circumstances they had that dates back to like the 1800s, but it never.
They named a precedent and all the good anti-piracy thing. They went about it. They set it up. It's legit. legit to their show. I don't know if there's a real world equivalent. It doesn't matter. They set up their rule. They stuck to it. But the devil goes ahead and sinks a boat that's got like military grade hardware on it. He's gathering his team of investigators and lawyer buddies and Karen and everybody so they can bring this to public light, that they're going to hang this whole thing on Kingpin because it's his. He's in cahoots with whomever. They're trying to sort that out. But the Matt Lillard character is apparently an agency guy from the farm. Yep. You see, the company, if you will. So that's an interesting connection. I want to see where that goes. Now, you're a big Daredevil guy from print. Is that a character from print, or is this a show character?
I am pretty sure. I'm going to go back and look him up. I have to look up Mr. Charlie. So we'll see here in a minute.
All right, cool. Because I think that's an interesting way to go. Because then they made a big show in that scene in Kingpin's office where, like, the local government comes in, state government comes in and says, nah, we're going to have some oversight on this salvage operation and this and that. And the phone call comes instantly after Mr. Charles sits down. Yeah. And all that bullshit
goes away. You're going to want to answer
that. You're going to want to answer that phone call. And dude's like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, no, we're good. Okay, yeah, I'm fucked. Okay, click, hung up.
Did you catch the name?
It was a woman's name, and it went by quick, and I wanted to ask you who that was because I didn't recall it.
It was Fontaine. It's the one who created the New Avengers, the CIA director.
Oh, okay. You could have just said Elaine. That would work better.
Elaine
Benez.
Yeah,
Elaine Benez. Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
That's it. Yeah.
That's fine. Did not pick it up on that. I wouldn't have remembered that because I didn't think she was great in Thunderbolts, and that's not even in my top 20.
Well, she was in a few different movies.
A few movies in phases 4 and 5 that I don't care about. She could have been the lead character in Eternals. I couldn't tell you. Doesn't mean shit to me. So again, but at least they tied her back in. They made that happen. So there's obviously a nice little government conspiracy tie into Kingpin, which is cool. They can do some work with that and give Matt a whole different level of shit he's got to deal with.
So what do you think about the alternative BB show?
I like it because I like the parody. I like the taking the poke at Kingpin himself. You know what I mean? And I think she's good for it. I think that's a nice way that this character is upping what she's doing from running. Hey guys, this is the BB show and social media influencer. Like, this is a little bit edgier. Yeah. It's something that's probably going to get her killed.
So Mr. Charlie is in one issue of the comic books.
All right. So I wonder how deep cut they had to get that character in there. Did somebody? What kind of chat GPT research did they run? Like, what's the most obscure character we could use?
Yeah, because it's Matthew Lillard. I would do the exact same thing.
Yep.
I want Matthew Lillard in my show.
For sure. Guy's talented. We'll see if he gets creepy, weird Stu down the line. And I think if they don't use an element of that, they've wasted him. Because I think that's like what people really know him for, is that level of like the insanity.
For this type of show, I would say yes.
Yeah. Well, it's a genre. That's what I mean. Like, I think that's his most notable kind of thing that he's done, like around these circles. Dude, I have a nitpick with the show, and it's probably not what you think it's going to be. Because I think Ivan pointed this out last week, but Ivan, you can remind me if it was you and in what context. Somebody in our chat pointed out, we were talking about like harsh language and whatever we were talking about. And I think it was Ivan that said, hey, didn't that feel kind of out of place? And we were like, well, this one did, but this one didn't, because it was contextual, but I don't remember what we were talking about. But
yeah, that was the Lanterns.
Oh, it was the Lanterns trailer. That's right. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it was Ivan, but thank you for the reminder. The language in this show is bizarre. It's like they're trying to work in an F-bomb legit every 8 minutes. And I'm like, for whatever reason, it feels cringe as fuck to me when they do. See how I just did that like effortlessly? It feels fake when they do that. And I don't know why. And it's not because it's Daredevil, because it's always been rated R. What's it, MA-17? Is that what
MA-17 due to violence?
Right. And language and adult themes, and that disclaimer is like a fucking paragraph long now. But I mean, every time one of these characters swears, it feels like something that a younger writer wrote in dialogue to make it feel like they were trying to be edgy, that they were trying to be hip, as the kids are saying these days. And I'm like, you didn't need to drop an F-bomb there. It's unnecessary. Like, you got to save that for like an explosive bit of anger, and not make every grown adult from every walk of life, whether they're a streetwalker or a fucking prestige lawyer sound the same, because those kind of folks don't all talk the same.
They don't.
But everybody on this show, does.
Yeah, and I think it's back to that lazy writing that we talked about. They, like you said, they want to sound edgy. They want to sound like they're hip. So let's drop this cuss word in here, and let's drop this cuss word in here. And it's one of the things, and I tie everything back to everything else I watch. And watching wrestling, when they went to Netflix, they kind of got out of that PG era. And now that they're on Netflix, they can say what they want in their promos. Now they still bleep a lot of it out and stuff like that, but it kind of gave them a free license to be more edgy as well. And one of the things Triple H is fighting against is them going out there and cursing just for the sake of cursing. Is like, if it's called for it, like a really big moment, you could use it.
It's exclamation. It's punctuation. It's not supposed to be noun, verb, adverb, adjective. Like, no, like pick your moments, throw it in there,
Yeah. And that was one thing, like, they don't want every promo to have a cuss word in it. They don't want when they're going back and forth, just two people cussing at each other in the ring when they're dropping their promos. They want the promos to sound educated and actually like these people thought this out. Like they actually feel this way towards the person that they're facing off against.
Yeah, I just want to be clear. Like, I'm not over here clutching pearls that there was an F-bomb in whatever show. I mean, we're not talking about Bluey. Like, we're talking about a show that legit carries the rating that's in support of. Imagine if Bandit dropped an F-bomb. That'd be fucking great.
I'm surprised they haven't had that episode in there. The talk
where you had the bad word.
Yeah, the bad word.
I'll pitch the idea to Disney Australia. I'll get that in there. But it's like, we're not clutching pearls over this. I just want to be clear. It just, when something feels out of place, it doesn't necessarily have to be a swap to a character, that they did some bit of the lore wrong. It can be something mechanical, like how they have people choose to speak. Like, I'm reminded famously of like the cutscene from Picard season 1 that everybody's used in videos for like 5 years now, where like the ranking lead admiral of the Federation says sheer fucking hubris. In no world would a Starfleet admiral talk to Jean-Luc Picard like that, because they're a fucking Starfleet admiral. Like, that's just not that person.
Yeah.
It never was. It never will be. It'll always stick out like a sore thumb. So here, when it's any character engaging in a conversation, like I can feel it coming. I can, and the Oracle says it's inauthentic. 100%. Like, I can feel it coming. I'm tracking the conversation. I'm like, they're trying to build to a point where this can be used like punctuation, but then they slip it in there before it has any meaning or any weight, and it just feels fake. I mean, it feels exactly like you said. Fake.
Yeah, it feels fake. I mean, technically, with my Army background, I could make a complete sentence by just using the F word. A very fluid that everybody would know what I'm talking about by using the one word.
Yep, similar. We have a similar language in the hospital, 100%. But I talk differently to my coworkers than I talk to the brass. Then I talk to pediatric patients, that I talk to grieving family members, that I talk to vendors or people.
Could
that are
you
coming
imagine your
visits.
bedside manner if you just came
100%.
up and it was like you just let your street talk out while you're trying to make them feel better?
The only way that comes out is if I've already pre-screened the chart and I'm like, okay, we have a 23-year-old gang member here who's just finished up a 3-year sentence. Like, I can talk to him a certain way in a certain situation after a rapport is built. That's reaching people, that's meeting people on their level. Like, a certain degree of that is what makes you successful, but you definitely don't roll into an interview or a performance check-in or, or anything else, any other disciplinary thing or team meeting or anything like that with that mindset. You can't.
I think this season, episode 1 is going to set up a nice season if they follow it. Because one thing, and you said you want to talk about it later, and I want to talk about it now, and that is the doctor and the doctor, how she kind of is falling back into her trauma, and she's seeing the Muse everywhere. And if she becomes the new Muse, I think they use that cheat Muse better. So somehow that she becomes the new Muse and she becomes the true Muse.
Now, as a fan of the book and a fan, and when I say book, clearly I mean like Daredevil. I don't just mean like a particular issue or whatever. Would that be comic accurate if that character takes on that role, or is that something that would be like a show off the rails kind of thing that might just be cool for you.
Well, one thing is that they never really talked that much about the origin of the Muse, and they never showed a gender with the Muse, so it doesn't really matter. So I guess it would be really cool if they did it.
Okay. What I had on her,
and that was a no, Ivan. That was a no. Jessica Jones hasn't showed up yet.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even see that. She's kind of a scumbag. This character, she is kind of an evil.
She's
scumbag.
fallen into the. She's drinking the Kool-Aid of the mayor on this one.
And listen, she's engaging in a couple of scummy activities, and one of them happened before the Kingpin even put any pressure on her. Right when she's interviewing Lalo Salamanca. Not Lalo Salamanca, because that's what he plays on Better Call Saul, the swordsman.
The swordsman.
Right? She's asking him legitimate interview questions, the basic baseline questions, and writing down her little observations as she goes, and she's writing down shit that does not apply in any context to how he's responded. Right, like she wrote down, I can't remember the first thing.
Hostile.
Hostile was there and hates authority.
Yeah.
And I'm like, in no way, shape, or form has any response this man has given, whether it verbal or body language, is indicative of these responses. So is she writing shit down because she's so psychologically fucked up from the issue with the Muse? Because I think she was writing shit before she even saw Muse behind the swordsman.
Yeah.
Or is she just writing shit down?
Yeah, when she saw the Muse behind, that's when she went in like, you're nowhere. This isn't writers. This isn't there. We can make you disappear and cancel it if you're not healthy enough to.
Which is my second thing. I'm like, this woman legit told a patient in custody undergoing a psychiatric evaluation that she can call these dudes in outside the door to hurt him and nobody will care. I'm like, okay, you instantly need to be losing the license to practice because you're a scumbag. And then we get to the part later on where she's compelled to change the answers to his question to make him look like a psychopath.
Do you ever feel like you're possessed by evil spirits?
Yeah, false. And then she didn't even, it's pencil, number one, which is the best part.
Yeah.
And then she doesn't even erase the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because there was still a mark there. And then she definitively marks the true. And I'm like, I kind of hate this broad. I really do.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
she was wearing on us in season one, and now she's this.
She's another one of the slime balls that I mentioned.
I think she could be a really good bad guy. And no, they're not actually. They haven't gone that direction. It was just me speculating based on what I've seen.
Yeah, that was the
right now she's only seeing the Muse in images and reflective surfaces.
Yeah,
and you know when she's about to do it, they do a half Dutch tilt.
Yep. They hit you with one of those.
Yeah.
So she's a nifty little angle there. That's probably the most interesting thing I think they have going. The Daredevil stuff is pretty standard. He's going to expose Kingpin. He's going to break arms and whoop ass. The law firm stuff, I need that to go somewhere with his partner quickly because I don't want to waste 2.5 episodes following her legal shit unless Matt's directly back involved with it. And maybe he comes out of hiding to rejoin, because when the season starts, she has no idea where he is. He's on the run.
Yeah, maybe that would be the end.
Yeah, but I don't want to see 3.5 episodes of a legal drama where Matt Murdock's not present.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So if that's not a thing, I don't need to see that Kirsten going up against the DA. I honestly don't give a shit. It's not compelling at all to me.
I think that was just a hint at they're going after these people, and that's who's representing them is the Murdoch law firm. Was it Murdoch and Maddox? Yeah, Murdoch and Maddox, or Maddox and Murdoch, one of the two. Yeah, as the law firm, and you just see that she's overworked. She doesn't have a law partner with her, and they only have one investigator.
And she doesn't know where he is. Not that he's just on vacation. She's where'd he go? Is he okay? Do you think he's all right? And Cherry has to be I'm sure he's okay, but he knows clearly because he's still in touch with him. So, I guess we'll see next week. We got a couple episodes we got to do for next week's FrostCast. We'll have to bang those both out.
It will be a double episode next week.
It's twofer. And I think that, we're always saying here, episode 3, when we've got 8, right? 8, 9, 8. 3 is pretty much a make or break. If they haven't really locked me in by 3, the last 5 are going to be a slog, and 4 at the halfway point.
I think the end was pretty cool in this episode too. So I'm looking forward to episode 2.
Yep. And like I said, no direct spoilers, but Matt gets some help late when it looks like bad things are about to happen. Because let's just say he's briefly demasked.
We also, with what I sent you with NetSuite being a double and like the rest of the schedule, and then you see the Punisher show. They actually finally named it. It was called Punisher One Shot. It's a one episode thing. Now it's called Punisher One Last Kill.
You sent that on the Book of Faces? I got to go back and
Yes.
check that again. Okay, I'll go back and check that because we have to work that in whenever that's coming through.
And that's going to be, that would technically be episode 9.
Oh, okay. All right, so it's going to be after the show's full run then.
Yep, and then it's the very next week after.
Oh, okay, no worries. We'll catch that then.